Yeah, let's return now to the information provided earlier today by the Trump administration. I played some of what Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth had to say. Obviously, the conflict in the Middle East continues to widen. Joining me now for his analysis on this, former General Gus McLachlan. Gus, always a pleasure to see you. Marco Rubio said this morning he's not going to give anything away, which is sensible, but the next phase of this will be even more punishing. Could you describe with your experience what that might look like?
G'day, Steve. Look, this is a relentless machine, the United States military. What we've seen initially, you would describe as the preparation phase, that is removing the Iranian air defense radars and missiles, trying to bring down their command and control systems so that they can't react to the subsequent attacks. All the while that was going on, we've seen the build-up of further airborne refueling tankers and fighter aircraft from the US. And so I think what will soon commence will be the main attack phase. And in that phase, they'll be hunting these missile launchers, the locations that they are buried in, further damage to command and control, and probably things like logistics, fuel storage, etc. So Rubio is right. We've seen the preparation phase. We haven't really seen the might of the US Air Force unleashed yet.
So the Israelis and the Americans have softened them up and obviously destroyed a lot of their assets that they could hit back with. Do we now see the introduction of things like those stealth bombers and bunker-busting bombs to get this stuff that's hidden underground? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, in fact, the stealth is the sort of stuff that is necessary early on when you haven't eliminated the Iranian radars. We think the Iranians have got access to some pretty modern equipment from both Russia and China. And it's interesting for observers like me that hasn't performed that well against the stealth aircraft. Once that stuff's destroyed, the older equipment, the F-15s, the F-16s, can really just come in as bomb trucks. They can bring in the big loads of bombs that can then target the stuff on the ground. And look, the timing of this is important. We're already hearing that the other Gulf states who use American defensive systems like Patriot are running out of missiles. So I think the clock is ticking on both sides of this campaign, Steve, both the offense and the defensive side.
Gus, can you just fight this conflict and get the result you want from the air? Obviously, I'm alluding to the fact that you wouldn't want to go in there on the ground, but will they potentially have to?
Well, this is one of Trump's points of difference, Steve. He's made it clear that in his mind, long wars that involve troops on the ground will not happen under his leadership. But what that means, I think, is you have to be more realistic about the extent to which they can achieve regime collapse and overthrow. My personal view is that Trump will hold off from troops on the ground, concentrate on the air campaign. But what that will mean is he will probably accommodate some sort of regime light that remains in place. Unfortunately, I don't think that's good news for the people of Iran, because I think there will be some sort of oppressive regime left in place. But it's possible that if Trump sees rapid success, that we would see troops on the ground. They would only be special forces that with laser designators and things could more specifically target Iranian Republican Guard that were reacting to suppress the population. But on balance, I think we're unlikely to see boots on the ground.
Gus, we've got to keep reminding ourselves this is a nation of 90 million people. It's huge in terms of landmass. So, we concentrate, on Tehran, but, people who like you who know that region much better would say, look, this is really, really difficult. I mean, we've cut the head off the snake. All of the senior leaders are gone. How does the military then, the Iranian military, operate? I mean, who's giving them the orders? Who's keeping things under control on their side?
Yeah, the regime notified the West, us, before the attack started, that they had nominated alternate command chains as far as 4 people deep. The expectation would be that those Iranian military commanders would already have their target sets, would already have their instructions, and would have been told to execute those missions regardless of whether there was a connection to their higher headquarters. Now, that can only go on for so long, because ultimately any change to the situation. It's very hard to communicate when your telecommunications are down, your internet is down, your military radios are being jammed. But I think what we're seeing now, this set of targets around the Gulf, including the Gulf states, you know, we're now seeing the Abraham's Accord countries being attacked specifically. These will have been in pre-written mission sets. I think the challenge for the Iranians will be how to sustain that once this next phase of the American and Israeli campaign starts, that really goes after their military headquarters, their command and control, their internet. I think it will get harder every day for the Iranians to maintain coherence.